Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, then make predictions for next week's top 5s. Let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Black Phone 2, number 2 would be Tron Ares, number 3 would be Good Fortune, number 4 would be Roofman, and number 5 would be One Battle After Another. And I got so close. I got 3 out of 5 of my predictions right for this weekend. Some of you did get your predictions right. Congrats to you. Here are your shout outs now. Way to go as far as like betting which of the 2 films in 4 and 5 would hold over a little bit better. I should have probably noticed that the film that has been notoriously having good holds maybe would have held out more than a certain newcomer. I was just hoping for the best for that one film, but we'll get to that. Let's start off with number 1 here, which was Black Phone 2, which I saw and I was kind of like disappointed by, even though I was kind of like, I wasn't like hyping it up. I wasn't like anticipating it because I was like, well, I like that first movie quite a bit. And this is a sequel that, although they are swinging for the fences, we'll see how it goes. I don't know. It could be risky. I don't know if it'll work. I found it kind of middling, just like, okay. Didn't really live up to its potential. But some people have been liking this. Like, it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Cinema score is at a B+, and now it's opening up to $26 million, which is $3 million over the original film's opening weekend. Now, it still needs $64 million to outgross that original film. And then worldwide, with its debut being at 42, needs $119 million to get there. We'll see if it like has like that Mithrigan curse of like dropping off really rapidly. But I mean, I believe this has a better opening than Mithrigan 2. So I mean, they're already on track for that, especially having a better opening than the first Black Phone movie, just by a little bit even. The budget is also kept pretty good at $30 million. So they're already over that initial point, and they're 18 million shy of doubling it. So if they are lucky enough to have like significantly positive holds, maybe we could be talking about Black Phone 3 possibilities, you know? Maybe Blumhouse won't count this whole year as a fucking loss for them or something like that. Honestly, I don't even know if that's true. I'm trying to remember. I know Mithrigan was the big one that bombed recently. I'm trying to think of other Blumhouse movies that came out this year, and maybe they were all right, or maybe they also flopped. I don't know. But it's looking like at least Black Phone 2 might be, right now it's like medium to like really good success for them. You know what I mean? Like having an opening this solid. We'll see where that ranges as it goes on. But yeah, obviously some people have enjoyed it, so I don't think this will be a drastic drop-off. I think it could potentially have solid holds throughout at least these next couple weeks for the Halloween season. I would honestly be more shocked if it did drop off, especially since we're not at Halloween yet. But, you know, we'll see how that goes next weekend. It's another wait and see, but right now they're on a positive track. Number 2 is Tron Ares, not on the right course here, having a over 60% drop from where it was last weekend, now making $11 million, adding to a domestic total of $54 million. That does place it $118 million away from Tron Legacy. Worldwide, it did cross over the $100 million point, just 102 though. That means it needs $297 million until Tron Legacy, but it's still nowhere close to doubling or even matching its initial production budget of $180 million. There's already, you know, like some article out there already from like some, you know, anonymous insider saying like Disney's probably going to retire Tron for another 15 years, like trying to pass blame off of like, you know, maybe it needed a different star, or maybe like no star could have helped this, something like that. So it already seems like there's some like trade stories trying to pass off blame about like what happened here. I know it's already grossed 100 million worldwide, and that's not nothing for some other movies, right? It seems weird to talk about that as far as like it's a huge thing, but like compared to the budget, the money that they pumped in, yeah, it is. But it may also seem weird what I'm about to say, considering how much it's made in 2 weekends. But yeah, I just don't think that many people care about Tron to even be doing like the blame game stuff. Honestly, Tron movies disappointing at the box office is not new stuff here. I mean, I feel like I'm maintaining my stance on like, even though it's outgrossed the original film unadjusted for inflation, I feel like this movie will probably stand to be the biggest disappointment of the disappointments, because, you know, at least Tron Legacy, they doubled their budget and they only made a little bit over that, which I think maybe they wanted or needed a little bit more as far as like the costs they don't report on, like post-production or like marketing, stuff like that. But this one, I feel like, yeah, it's probably not going to double its, but it's not going to get to that point. I listed the amount of money it needs to get to Tron Legacy. I just don't think it's going to get there. So womp womp. I don't even know if like releasing this at another time would have helped. You know, I know it's October, it's spooky season. Maybe some people aren't in the mood for like a big budget sci-fi kind of action movie from Disney, but I mean, all kinds of movies come out, you know, throughout the year at this point. It can be like the makings of a summer blockbuster, but it comes out in fucking October or February, or even a horror movie. It doesn't have to be specifically October. It can be any time of the year. So it's like, I don't even know if it's like that case of like people just aren't in the mood for it right now. It's like, I think you could release this movie at any time of the year, and it would probably be the same kind of result. Number 3 is Good Fortune, making $6.2 million. This is on a budget of $30 million. This is, of course, Aziz Ansari's feature directorial debut after the movie he was making, Being Mortal with Bill Murray, got shut down due to some Bill Murray antics. You can look into that, obviously. So this is him swinging out the gate with a different project for his feature, debut. And I don't know, because I know they released some interview where he was like, maybe we can go back to that project at some point because they shot some of it and they didn't finish, so maybe they can come back to it at some point. He was a little hopeful for that. And these other projects he's thinking about too. I'm not sure if this box office opening is a clear indicator that that's possible for him. Like there's no worldwide totals to bump it up right now, obviously, but I mean, this is not great, especially with 30 million pumped into it. And it's almost like, I know it's got Seth Rogen and Keanu Reeves and like some of these names, but like the angel wings that like Keanu Reeves and the group of angels have are like not expensive. Like they're like Halloween costume kind of wings. What's the point? The point being, like, it doesn't seem like a movie that would even cost like 30 million. This seems like maybe half this, and Aziz Ansari just gets some good favors from people. Like it doesn't ring true to me as like a movie that would even cost this much. And I enjoyed the movie. I liked it, but it's a lot of like, using local locations in like LA. So it's like, I don't know, man. Did it need to cost this much is all I'm asking. But also, yeah, this 6.2 just doesn't look good compared to that. Number 4 is One Battle After Another, making 4.0 million, adding to a domestic total of 61 million for Leonardo DiCaprio. It did outgross Man in the Iron Mask by 5 million and Blood Diamond by 4. It is behind Killers of the Flower Moon by 7 million, but hopping over to worldwide, now that it's at 162 million, it is 15 million over Romeo and Juliet and 6 million over Killers of the Flower Moon. It's sitting behind Blood Diamond here by 9 million. So yeah, like I said last weekend, it's catching up to Killers of the Flower Moon. I was interested in that specific comparison just because, Martin Scorsese, PTA, Leo working with another like pretty big time famous director, especially in our current age, and these movies coming out so soon. I was like, I wonder which one will ultimately do better, and it's looking like this One Battle After Another. Killers of the Flower Moon, despite having like a solid awards campaign and getting nominated for a bunch of stuff, obviously, especially when it comes to like the Oscars, they didn't come away with like any big major awards, you know what I mean? I think Lily Gladstone had won a couple like acting awards. I think, was it the Golden Globe for drama, or is that a different I think she definitely won the Screen Actors Guild Award. I don't know. I don't remember. That was like 2 years ago, man. Fuck. But it does seem like this movie, for whatever reason, as far as like comparing the two Leo projects, might have a bit more momentum. Like for some people, this is the front runner to win a bunch of like awards, like screenplay or like director, best picture. So we'll see if that pans out to be true. But I mean, maybe that's part of it too. When Killers of the Flower Moon was coming out, it was already kind of like, oh well, yeah, of course it's probably going to be amazing. And you got Martin Scorsese teaming up with Robert De Niro and Leo again. So maybe that's what it is. It's like more so like people already kind of expected Killers to be great, and it's got that 3.5 hour runtime. And this, even though it's 2 hours 40, not too far away from where Killers of the Flower Moon was, but maybe there's just a bit more of surprise of like, oh, PTA had this one in them. Oh shit, you know what I mean? And it's kind of currently, like politically, political climate wise, like socially, like kind of resonating with a lot of people. It's ringing true to some. So yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see where else this momentum gets. Obviously, with it being at 162 million right now, it is only 13 million shy of hitting that 175 million point, which, if you remember when this movie came out, I was saying like the budget is looking like it's around 130 to 175. There was an article recently that was saying like, despite this, it needs about 400 million to break even. And it's like, well, if that's the case, yeah, they're even more far off than we pictured. But at the very, like I've been saying, like people are talking this movie up, it's having these great holes. Like people are going out to see it. And when awards time comes, people are going to keep discovering it, whether it be in theaters or it's on like premium video on demand, stuff like that. So I feel like this movie is going to be fine. This is just the beginning of, how far reaching this movie will be overall. It's just the beginning of its legacy and its overall impact. Number 5 is Roof Man, making $3.7 million, adding to a domestic total of $15.5. For the director, this is $6 million over Blue Valentine and Light Between Oceans by $3 million, so it needs $6 million until Place Beyond the Pines. It might have the momentum to get there. I think I'm still a little bummed that, despite the fact that it's about to hit its initial production budget of like 17 and 19 million, there's still no worldwide totals to bump it up. I think this is like a pretty pretty good crowd pleaser kind of movie that also just happens to be like really good. At least for me, I really dug this movie. And I feel like, you know, any other time this would have done like much better than at least right now, box office wise. But yeah, it just seems like it's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle. I'm glad people are seeing one battle after another. And you know what? If people are enjoying Black Phone 2, even though I'm in the minority on that, that's good. You know, go see what you enjoy, right? But at the very least, it's like, I wish Roofman was at least getting some more attention, so more people were talking about that one, because genuinely, this is like, I feel like this is destined to be that kind of movie where people watch it later and they're like, oh shit, this is like a hidden gem from 2025. How come no one talked about it more? You know what I mean? But yep, if you can still see it, I would recommend it, absolutely. Number 6 is Truth and Treason, which is an Angel Studios movie that I did not predict for the top 5. Is this a first? At least for like a little bit. I feel like I've been a little bit more mindful as far as like the Angel Studios stuff. And trying to be like, well, you never know these days. Maybe it could get into top 5. But, I mean, luckily I was wrong. It made $2.7 million. This is on a budget of unknown. So, not sure how good that is. I feel like that's the case for a lot of these Angel Studios movies, though, is that they specifically don't have the budgets listed. It is, you know, about to be a couple 100,000 over Rule Breakers for them, and it's $2 million away from Brave the Dark as far as its overall domestic gross, but I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like, they have Sound of Freedom, and I'm trying to remember if there's like another, there probably is another one that I'm forgetting that had a bit more of like a box office push, but yeah, it just seems like so many of the movies, and there have been quite a few coming out under them. So many of them are just kind of like these like low openings, like, whatever. You know what I mean? Who knows? Like, Sound of Freedom just had that specific magic. I don't know. That scam that got people to buy movie tickets for people that might not even show up to claim them, but the money still went to them, I'm pretty sure. Or not. I don't know. Who cares? Number 7 is Gabby's Dollhouse, making $1.6 million, adding to a domestic total of 29. Worldwide, it is sitting at $58 million. So they are about $6 million shy of doubling their initial production budget of $32 million. But obviously, even going back to one battle after another, sometimes you need a little bit more of a higher number than just a doubling point to break even. So I don't know if that's the case here for Gabby's Dollhouse. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised it's stuck around in the top 10 for as long as, I mean, it hasn't been out for that long, but I'm kind of surprised it's been hanging around for as long as it has been, though. You know, it's kind of like, it just seems like one of those movies, even for kids, that's like, it'll come, but then it'll like kind of quickly vanish because it's maybe more of like a TV thing. Maybe not many people want to go see it in the theaters, but some people have. And there's that. Number 8 is The Conjuring Last Rites, making $1.57 million, adding to a domestic total of 175. So domestically, it's behind Sinners now for horror films for the year by 103 million, and then worldwide it is at 482 million, so about 18 million shy of $500 million worldwide. I'm not sure at this rate, I think I was saying this last week, I'm not sure at this rate if it will have the momentum to get there, or if it does, maybe it won't be in the top 10, but the fact that it got pretty close is pretty spectacular, all things considered. Number 9 is After the Hunt. I felt like this definitely won't crack a top 5 for Luca Guadagnino, and I was correct. It made 1.55 million. Not sure what the budget of this movie is either, but it is a couple 100,000 away from outgrossing a bigger splash for Luca. This doesn't seem like it's going to have like a solid holdover, solid run. I think some people maybe would have anticipated like, oh, just wait, that award season campaign though, but it's gotten some pretty mixed reactions. And even when I saw it, like I felt like I walked away going like, no, that was good. And then like in the days since, I'm kind of like, well, you know, I'm not sure, like it's not sticking with me as much, and there's something about it that just feels off. It's one of those that I feel like if I rewatch it, I'm going to be like, oh, how did I not even like notice this, that I had a problem with this or something like that. And of course, people, now that it's becoming more widely available and the people that were anticipating it are going to see it, you're getting some more mixed reactions. So I don't think this is going to stick around that much longer, unfortunately. Now, closing out the video, we got a bit of a problem here. By the time I'm recording this audio, thenumbers.com has a tie for 10th place. Or 11th place. Box Office Mojo hasn't updated theirs, so I don't have another reference to see like, are they saying one is higher over the others? And I could say that like, well, one movie held over a little bit better, and maybe that will end up being number 10, but once again, you never quite know, and I know that I'm recording these before official numbers come out. I'm recording these on the Sunday before the weekend is over. It just works out better for my schedule, so I always knew that there are still some things that are subject to change all the time, so I'm just gonna give you both movies, and whichever one you think is actually number 10, great. We'll move on. Okay, so the first one is Soul on Fire, making $1.3 million. This adds to a domestic total of $5.5. So for the director Sean McNamara, it is $2 million over Spare Parts, but $5 million away from Bratz and Miracle Season. Not great. And as far as like the holdovers, this one technically had the worse one than our other film, which is Demon Slayer. This will be its last time here, and considering the fact that it has had better holds and continues to have a better hold than at least Soul on Fire, yeah, you might make the argument that this could overall be number 10, but currently made 1.3, adding to a domestic total of 131 million. The odd thing though is that last weekend I feel like it updated to 648 million worldwide, but now when I check the numbers.com and even Wikipedia, it's dropped. So I guess it's actually at 639 million. But take that with a grain of salt also. So yeah, whichever one you think is actually number 10, it might be Demon Slayer, but in case it's not, there you go. Now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. And this is a bit tough because you got, another music biopic film. You got another Colleen Hoover adaptation. You got the current success of The Black Phone 2, and then you got another anime film coming to the theaters. So this was actually a little tough because there wasn't like a clear winner here. So bear with me. Number 1, I think, will be Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Just off, Jeremy Allen White is popular from The Bear, and Bruce Springsteen, big name, and some people do like seeing these, especially when they have an appropriate marketing push. So I think it could be this, and it does seem like more of like the event for like, more than just like one specific audience. Number 2, I think, will be Regretting You. Maybe over-optimistic on this one, but I'm trying to factor in like the recent success of It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and there's more adaptations of her work coming, and I know that this one might not be one of her more famous ones compared to It Ends With Us or Verity, or insert maybe another one here, but I don't want to rule out that this could, do very well. Then number 3, I think, will be Chainsaw Man, the movie Rez Arc. I'm assuming it's Rez and not Reezy. Unless it is, then I'm sorry, Reezy or Rez. Number 4, I think, will be The Black Phone 2. And then number 5, I don't want to sound too biased when I make this prediction, but just because I am hopeful, and I do have a reason for it, I think number 5 could be Shelby Oaks. I don't know if it has enough theaters or even enough, mainstream audience attention to get it higher than Black Phone 2, and also we don't know what the drop-off is going to be for Black Phone 2 yet, but considering it did well this weekend, we'll see. But I just feel like, considering there has been like a bit, like it's the most successful movie Kickstarter page ever, or maybe most successful Kickstarter page? Don't fact check me on that, or do, but you don't have to say anything. Whatever. But like there has been a lot of attention on this movie. There's been some marketing from Neon on their social media that I've noticed, and there's also that thing of like Chris Stuckman. He may not be one of the most popular YouTubers ever. He's definitely, I feel like, one of the more popular ones in like the movie review space, especially considering where he's at now and how he uses his platform, right? So like, even if you aren't so into his channel or so invested in the film side of YouTube, you might know the name or do some research, be like, oh, that guy, oh, this is his movie. So there's a part of me that's like, it could do well just in the small kind of corner that it does, enough to push it up to number 5, especially with these low numbers that we were just talking about. But we'll see. Anyways, what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave them in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.